So now that we have our solution solved, our base solution of 34 megapascals, let's begin by adding some parameters or creating a parameter set for this problem. So the two input parameters that we're going to want to change are going to be the diameter of the lifting lug hole and the thickness of this side of the lifting lug. So in order to parameterize these two dimensions, we need to go back into Design Modeler and create a parameter for these values. So let me show you how to do that right now. Let's minimize Mechanical. And let's open up Design Modeler by double-clicking on the third cell, Geometry. Now, as you can see here in Geometry Modeler, we still have all our bodies here, but in Mechanical they are suppressed. So the only ones that concern us are the diameter here and the width of this side of the lifting lug over here. So let's go and find that right now. So if we click on Extrude 5, we can see that this extrude is the 100 millimeters of this length over here. So in order to parameterize that, we can click on this box over here, and then you can see that we can now create a new parameter name for this extrude. So we're going to leave this as the default called Extrude 5 FD1, or you can rename this to whatever name you want as a parameter, and we're going to click on OK. So we've now defined our first parameter. The next parameter we want to define is the diameter of the lifting lug hole, which is under the Sketch 9 over here. And we can see here that the diameter that we created here was D2 of 40 millimeters. So once again, we can click on this box over here, and we can now create a new parameter, and we can leave this as plane 6 diameter 2. And let's click on OK. Now we have two parameters defined in Design Modeler. So let's go and close this out. And now you will notice a new object here called Parameter Set. Now if we double click on Parameter Set, you can see that we've defined now two input parameters. The first one called parameter 1, which is the extrude depth of 100 millimeters, and the second parameter, which is the diameter of 40 millimeters. Now we currently don't have any output parameters, so let's go and generate those right now. So let's go back into the Project tab, and let's jump back into Mechanical by double-clicking on the results. Now the two output parameters that will concern us are going to be the mass of this lifting lug, as well as the safety factor. So let's go and find the mass, which is going to be in the geometry of the lifting lug. And we can go into Properties, and we can see here now that we have the mass of the lifting lug, which is 1.69 kilograms. So once again, we can click on this over here to parameterize it, and now the mass is going to be an output parameter of our project. The next parameter is the safety factor. So let's go into the Stress tool, click on Safety Factor, and what we're going to do is we're going to once again parameterize the results for the minimum safety factor by clicking on this box over here. Now if we go back into Workbench, we will now see another arrow here which shows that the output parameters have now been defined. So if you click on the Parameter Set tab over here, we can see that we have two input parameters, and now we've just added parameter 3 and parameter 4 for the lifting lug mass and the minimum safety factor.